T-Man 978 Shill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978 here is KuBianBao Core Fighters, KBB Core Fighters, who is a knockoff of Perfect Effects Core Magnus. Brief little history. Back in 2015, Hasbro released Combiner Wars Leader Class Ultra Magnus, which was an all-in-one transformation where the cab of the truck became Ultra Magnus along with the trailer bed, the car carrier. It wasn't a separate white Optimus Prime that used the trailer as a mech suit. In the following series, they released Powermaster Optimus Prime, which was a retool of Ultra Magnus. When that happened, Perfect Effect decided to give us a Voyager class size Optimus that can upgrade the Powermaster body to be the perfect Powermaster Optimus Prime, or in Japan they released God Genrai that looked even more like what Powermaster Optimus Prime or what God Genrai looked like in Japan. So then they decided, why stop there? Ultra Magnus is basically the same toy as the Optimus Prime, so why not recolor this robot to be Ultra Magnus? And now KuBianBao KO'd that, and I don't feel bad because that figure was released years ago and it's discontinued. They never re-released it. They released a whole different version of it. I mean, it's probably still compatible, but maybe, I'm not sure. But here we go. I got this off of wish.com or the Wish app. It took forever because of all the tariffs and how things travel from China due to the coronavirus and junk. When I decided to pay for this, that's when stuff started going haywire. Mail was so good before now, but here we are. Nice truck mode that looks G1. It has some, with this thing being Powermaster Optimus Prime, a repaint of that, you have details like the windshield chest on the back and these smokestacks like placed where they're placed because it's supposed to be Genrai or Powermaster Optimus Prime, but repainted as Ultra Magnus and not straight up G1. Looks like this on the bottom. Here is Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. I've already modified this thing. You see it comes with this ion cannon right there that can store there. It's not really pegging in some, I mean, this thicker part right here is the peg and not the handle. So you have to force that into there and make sure that this is closed as tight as it can be so it will stay there. But the upgrade parts, like the neck for the head, I had to detach the head off of here. And the chest plate I've already applied. If you want to see this in full detail, I'll link the Ultra Magnus Combiner Wars review at the end. But this thing still has things like, it has the ability to use their Powermaster, which was a separate kit for the Genrai upgrade. How that worked was you open this up, and I threw some of these in as like an Easter egg. I was tossing this around, but I wanted to show that you could put these little Bandai men in here. These are part of their Gundam Wars. And I stored his extra hands in there with the head. But how this worked is you rotated this on a mushroom peg and you shut it. And then that Powermaster can fit in there. So if you wanted to, you could still... It's expensive as crap. That was the first thing to sell out. And like I said, they never reissued the thing. They just released it once, never reissued it. And I've been SOL because I'm not paying a whole bunch of money for that. But nice. To jog you all's memory, I took it off, but there was a little round connector point permanently keeping this attached. But in here, he had a little, the head was in there permanently, but when you do all this, there is a little cockpit in there, because you might have saw the extra little robot. I said he was an all-inclusive, but you did have this optional minifigure from the IDW comics called Minimus Ambus. He can actually sit in there, and he can be in there when you're Ultra Magnus, but when the head goes in, he was not capable of staying in there. But like I said, want to see more in him, watch the full review. But comparison wise, this is what we're working with here. So it is a more fully formed truck, representative of what G1 Optimus or G1 Ultra Magnus would look like. Here is the Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. Super close, but he's a little bit bigger and a tiny taste longer. But how does this guy fit with this? You have that, and yeah, all the wheels are rolling, so that's good. Now when it comes to rotating, the feet do bump into that butt plate right there for the combine mode. So there is that. It's not horrible, but it still does bump. So I want to make sure I don't gloss over that. The ion cannon, and it's still on here. This peg is a little bit smaller than 5mm, so yeah, I was not shocked about that. And let's see about this right here. Yeah, it is very loose, so yeah. If you want to see any other type of functionality as far as car carrier part, here's something I can show you that I didn't show in the other video. That's what Optimus Prime looks like that. But for the full Ultra Magnus experience, watch my Ultra Magnus review. This is supposed to mostly be about this, so I'm not going to be going over the transformation as far as this, except for the few new parts. But anywho, here is a Legends class car right there. Here is a couple of deluxe class cars, and this thing is humongous. But here's something more modern that was drifted, if you didn't know, and this is tailgate. But any old who transformation, you might know that I did the Perfect Effect Jet Revive, so same transformation basically. Take those two fake gas canisters, bend it down over the wheel, open this up, and then we can separate this and combine awards, as everybody likes to call it. Lift that up, bring the foot up, and push this into place. And these two tiny rectangular tabs fit into two tiny ports. Up here, you need to bring that down like this and go ahead and unpeg it from here. Probably first I should have detached it from there to make it a little bit easier on myself. Stretch the arms out basically, and we can rotate this around, plug this into here, bring the arms down, fold it back like this, fold it back like this, bring the hands down, rotate the forearm and the fist into the correct orientation, and he is a robot. It's Ultra Magnus because I don't want to call it Core Fighters. They didn't even really give him a real name, or Core Magnus. But let's give you a nice close-up look on his body details. This thing looks awesome. When I first saw the Genrai version or Powermaster version, I really wanted it. And here's where the Genrai or Powermaster details come into effect with the smokestacks right here instead of being on his shoulders. And yeah, as far as quality, with this being a knockoff, quality is good. Only thing I had issues with when I first opened it was the hips were a ton loose. They kept the pose. I could get them standing, but they just moved way more loose than I would like. This piece right here, this filler, came out, so I just crazy glued that. Rotating this thigh, the thigh is on a mushroom peg, crazy tight on this side. It seems like when I rotate it a certain way, yeah, it pops off. So I had to be worried about that. I don't know if your copy will be like that. And this gray plastic right there, I mean, on the shoulders it's okay, When I first opened it, it felt scary because this was a little bit too tight. And now I know what was really scary. This ball joint. So it seems like this gray plastic gives you more insecurity than anything else. When I rotate the head, it kind of feels super scary. It's rotating with no problems, but it is very tight on that ball joint. And I feel like it could possibly shear off, but I'm looking at it and it keeps turning, and the peg post isn't really all that thin. So I might not have anything to worry about. And I've been doing it. You see me doing it right now. It's not ripping off. Oh yeah, the hands. The hands did not want to stay in here very well. I put floor polish up inside of the holes, so now it takes a little bit more effort. And that gun, where did it drop? The gun. The hands are designed to be like 5mm pegs. Let me see about this weapon right here. This should port in there. It ports in there kind of snug, to be honest. I put floor polish inside of his hand sockets, so now he can hold it over here pretty much with no problems. But this hand, it didn't even want to go. I mean, it didn't want to stay smooth in there at all. It's a little bit more loose, as you can see. So there's that. Outside of that, the knees aren't the tightest. They aren't ratcheted. And this plastic right here, like eggshell, eggshell thin. And I do not like, every time I want to open this up, it seems like it wants to fight me. So I do not like the plastic consistency of this, and that part right there. So, but other than that, the thing looks good and it's highly posable. Let's get into that. I love it when figures can look all the way up. It helps with posing. You saw me rotating it and it can tilt. Shoulders do this. Shoulders can do this. It's not a real butterfly, but if you wanted to look like that instead of this, you have that option. Bicep rotation. Elbows bend 90 degrees. Because of the molding, it's only going to bend a certain amount. And the wrist rotates, of course, on that peg and go up like that. Waist rotates, and they have a ratcheted waist joint. I mean, you could detach this, but that's not a real ab crunch. This is the ab crunch. Here's the problem. Super, super tight. What I do is and I think I had to do this on the official version of this mold. I had to turn them backwards, engage the ab crunch, and then turn them the other way, which it's crazy, but I guess if you force it, and you see that going back was tight too. Problem with just trying to make them bend forward, since this is so loose, so much looser than this, it's not gonna catch. And then when I try to like grab, I run the risk of pressing up on this, and like I told you, I do not have any confidence in this plastic right there. So rather than drive myself crazy, well, I was able to do it for the first time ever on camera. Rather than drive myself crazy though, do it this way, and you don't have to worry about things all disconnecting. Hips, I showed this pretty much off already. Go out to there. The knees bend slightly more than 90 degrees, as you can see right there. The toe can go down like that, and ankle pivot. Big holes under there. And since I'm just now thinking about this, yeah, the peg holes seem to be 5mm. So, siege compatible. The blast effect that comes with MP44. So, if you bought that thing, you can do this. If you didn't, haha. And you may have noticed his hand changed. This is the other optional hand right there. It's kind of big. I guess it's in line with this. Looks kind of big, but you can do more dynamic poses and whatnot with the hand. He doesn't really have butterfly joints, so it is kind of difficult to get poses like this. But as you can see, it can happen. So there you are. Oof, oof, oof. Size comparison, here's my Hasbro and Make Toys tailgates. And here's Siege Optimus Prime. He's a little bit taller. Let me try to get them like face to face. And there we are right there. But he's still pretty much a Voyager class because that's how tall the Seekers are. Reverse transformation / preparation for the combined mode. Basically do everything in reverse. We can go ahead and turn the arms this way, get that pegged in, put the arm up like that, get that pegged back in, the hand just bend like that, and be careful. When I put the floor polish in there, I didn't put it directly in the hole, I put it to the side, so now I'm gonna risk breaking this daggone peg. And for whatever crazy reason, they put ratchets in here, of all places. But rotate this, like line it up with this peg right there on both sides. And if you have the hands correct, they shouldn't bump into his head or whatever. Now we can detach this, rotate this way, peg that back into place, get that up, bring this down, push the foot up, get this into this area and bring that up to here, detach this, bring the legs back down, put the foot down, put that into that orientation, peg the legs together, push these this way. Now it's a truck. Okay, detach that, detach that. We can rotate this so that we can have this turned that way. Rotate this, turn this that way, and now we can have this down like that right there. Move these out of the way a bit so we can open up this stuff right here, lift this panel up, lift the head up out of there, go ahead and make sure the hand's out of the way, bring this back together, plug that back into there, and now he's ready to combine with the trailer. Alright, I prepared the body. Like I was saying, this is more to show you the compatibility with this more than it is to review this thing, because I already did a review on it. Anywho, basically slide him in there, and the port peg right there can go in between the legs where the gun was. So basically that's what that's designed for and why it's square. I mean, it's not a super secure fit, but yeah. This right here, it's on a slider. It slides down low for the truck mode, but we can pull that out, extend it. And this is how it connects right here. You have to take out the old piece, and I'll find that and bring that up here. Bring it up and basically tab it into there on both sides. And basically, here he is as Ultra Magnus. The head is the original head that came with Combiner Ware's Ultra Magnus. You had to rotate these smokestacks so they wouldn't be in the way. It cannot fit when it's reversed. Now, as far as the white on his plastic, I think that actually got more cream or yellowed over the years. I can't really tell, but he is definitely more white than the white on this guy. I'm gonna have to watch my review all the way. I did grab that footage for the beginning of this, but I didn't actually pay attention to how white he was. But yeah, fits in there. that's different looking. That's one thing you might have, depending on how your perfectionism works. The red and the chest, the red on the bumper, and this maroon is 3 different reds right there. So yeah. And the only new articulation this thing has is a neck joint, which was super loose, to be honest, until I put some floor polish in there. But it can look up. It couldn't look up before. It could only rotate side to side, which it still can do that. Can't really look down much, but it can look up. And just to refresh you while you're here, it can do this. Can go out. Swivel right there. The elbow bends 90 degrees. The fist opens. No waist, even though it could have had a waist. That goes back. It could go all the way back, but it bumps into this. And you'll have to straighten that up. Like I said, this connection is not the tightest. Legs go out to there. Knees bend 90 degrees. No ankle pivot. And the feet have always been kind of weird. I never knew which position to have these in, but I like to put it out like that. And yeah, he's not compatible with holding this gun. Like I said, it doesn't really port into there. But of course, this Magnus has his 2 weapons. Like I said, you can watch the review for this. But end of the day, I like being able to do this. You can see his real windows inside of there. And I keep forgetting to bring the piece. Here it is. This was the original chest plate. That looks way more IDW comics, where there's kind of a face in there. Let's bring it. It kind of looks like he has a face on his chest, and things are different. This is more to look like the actual G1, and it's cool that you can see this right here. All right, here's a comparison I didn't do in his review ever. I was lazy and didn't dig this guy out, but this new KO Ultra Magnus gave me an excuse to do it, and now that I have done it, I might replace this guy on the shelf with the Combiner Wars one, to be honest, because he is way closer to the height I would like. In fact, here's this right here. So there you are. In the comics, Ultra Magnus was like humongous. I guess cartoon wise, this will probably be more about it. I think he was only like maybe 1 head taller, so it's up to you. But I like the Ultra Magnus being really huge. Anyhow, I really like this Ultra Magnus that's inside of here. I like the new articulation that was given to me with the new neck joint and whatnot. I like the option, and oh yeah, off camera I did discover, stay in there, that I could wedge this gun in between his hip and this piece right here, and it stays in there nice and snug. So that's an option. As far as porting something into there, it can be in there, but it's not super duper secure, to be honest with you. But transformation, easy and simple. The way this thing looks in its individual robot mode, I really like it. I super love it, to be honest with you. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted this mold, and I slept on buying it. The truck mode is also good. Just listen to whatever complaints I said about this thing, and those are my complaints. But outside of that, I really like it, and I'm happy. And like I said, I'm thinking about replacing Siege Ultra Magnus with this guy on the shelf. So there's that. And the reason why that disconnected is this thing has a factory error, and it broke the little piece off. I did glue it back on there and it stayed, but then I transformed it back into the car carrier, and that's what breaks it off, because of the factory error. look at my Ultra Magnus review to see what I'm talking about. Anyhow, thank y'all for watching this. Until next time, T-Man978, out of here. Click the videos. Click the fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should click those videos. Click that shit.